This is the old Kilmaronock Kirk, not far from Gartocharn in the area of Drimmen, not to be confused with Kilmarnock. There may have been a St Moronog. It seems more likely there's a pet name, as in Mungo being a pet name for St Kentigern, Mungo meaning dear one. In the case here, it seems to be a known saint, St Ronan, and his pet name, meaning my little Ronan, was Moronog. So it seems likely that Kilmaronock is named after St Ronan. There is a holy well nearby. The present church building only dates from 1813, but there was a church here since at least the 8th century. The oldest gravestone within the churchyard is about 1622. A pre-16th century cross slab was found near the church. This is now kept within the church itself. The church is no longer owned by the Church of Scotland. It has been a community resource since 2021. Kilmaronock Castle stands nearby. This dates from the 14th century. It was once 4 stories high. There's been a succession of different family owners, in particular the Denniston family of Finlaystone. Denniston family related to the royal family of Scotland. The name probably comes from Daniel's town. They were of Norman origin, it seems. The last laird of Denniston had 2 daughters, one of whom married Sir William Cunningham of Kilmores. Through this they inherited not only Kilmaronock, but also Finlaystone House, and this became the Cunninghams family's main seat. They later became the Earls of Glen. In 1586, several of the cadet lairds of the Cunningham family murdered the 4th Earl of Eglinton of Montgomerie at Stewarton. David Cunningham from Robertland is thought to have hidden out at Kilmaronock, and he was able to take a ship to Denmark, where he spent his time to 1589 when he returned to Britain. He was pardoned and eventually became the master of the king's works in Scotland and was eventually knighted. In the 14th century, the church was held by the monks of Cambus Kenneth near Stirling. The lands themselves were sold by the Cunninghams to the Earls of Dundonald, the Cochrans. It seems the last occupants was the Clan MacGowan. The churchyard contains a number of interesting graves. The Findlay family near the entrance were involved in the tobacco trade. There are several of the previous ministers of Kilmaronock. There's also a Free Church of Scotland minister, because they didn't have their own burial ground. One unusual but not uncommon feature of old churchyards are the presence of queen conch shells. This may be because they were white, which can be associated with purity. They're also highly decorative. However, the origin of them is rather unfortunate. A number of the aristocracy in Scotland held properties in Jamaica, so they involved with slavery. A very large number of these conch shells were sent back to Scotland. It said at one time that every country house had at least 2 on its mantelpiece. They were also used as decorative features within the gardens, lining pathways and garden beds. The old miniature road runs past the site, and there are 2 buildings that are associated with the Kirk, one being the old school, the other being the manse.